Robots Radio presents...
Previously on Ambrosia Island.
Well, maybe they could tell us where this island is. Have you ever been there?
We haven't been there. We're not worthy yet to go there, okay?
Then how do you get worthy, huh?
Garrison, they take him to Ambrosia Island. We may not be there for, but we do our part, and then we're worthy.
What's your part?
I suspect they probably do a bunch of sacrifices here in different countries. You don't know how to travel there?
You travel by plane. You head down to the airstrip, you know the one. We have an empty plane, take you anywhere you need to go.
It's just more shady dealings.
Would there perhaps be time for me to visit my workshop, grab a couple of things before we head to Grotto?
We should all make sure that we're equipped.
I'm welcome for anyone who wants to study this thing with me as much as this book has.
I'll stick around, of course.
I need to make some calls.
Mr. Garrison, he provided for my family, and I think we owe it to him to try to stop him being sacrificed to bring about the end of the world.
And now?
So you spend the rest of the morning kind of making your plans, your itinerary for the day. Father John, you'll be staying here at the apartment to kind of search through the book. Jørgen, you'll be going to your place just further down in the
getting to my workshop
Jørgen?
and figuring out what I can get into a duffel bag.
Yep.
Picking up some of my special batteries to power any devices I might try and come up with on the fly.
Yep.
I might even try and, if I have a couple of hours, start working on something that I could maybe get engrossed in, something I can whip up before I head.
Mena, you'll be looking to gather supplies.
Yeah,
for the
I
trip.
might get my smuggler dealer Virginia. She does that kind of thing, imports and smuggling. So might get her to meet me at a family restaurant.
Yep. So you'll make your contact and try to organize plans. Obviously, you'll need to be a rush job because you'll be heading off in the early evening.
Yep.
And then that just leaves Pierre.
Pierre, who is going to stick around and stay close to John. And see what he can do.
Help with the book.
Help with the book, he says.
He says.
But he also says, is it wise to go around alone, considering everything that happened yesterday? To Mena and to Jørgen.
I think I can take care of myself.
And then he looks at Jørgen.
Sorry, I was just trying to work out when the fire extinguisher was invented to see if I needed to invent it.
You do have fire extinguishers do exist.
Yes, they do.
Cool.
So
Yes, they do.
I don't need to invent that. Sorry, what was the question?
Basically, are you going to be okay by yourself with people on the look? You know, people looking out for us.
I know how to be inconspicuous. I may not look like it, but I can look after myself.
I can probably drop you off at your place and pick you up. That's easy.
That's very kind of you, Mena.
That solves the car question. That was going to be my next thought.
D'accord.
Because you only have one car.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start off with Mena and Jørgen as you head outside and you go up the just the one street away, or where you parked the car a little bit. It's still there.
Yep.
Still fine. Hasn't been tagged. Hasn't been moved, which is nice.
Yep.
So where are you heading?
Well, before I get into the car, I just want to make a call to Virginia.
Yep. I should really. Yeah. That's what's going to be my.
You don't have a phone in the house?
In
the apartment?
Oh, in the apartment. I thought we were on the street.
No.
So you wanna
Sorry,
make that
before
call?
I get before I head out and get to the car.
Absolutely.
Make a call to Virginia. Virginia, it's Mena. I'm heading out and I need a few supplies. Meet me at Lucia's and we'll talk shop.
Is that the one on 5th or the one on 73rd?
It's the one on 5th. You should know this, Virginia.
Look, I've been to both lately. I do a lot of drops, okay?
One is one that we own and run shit out of, so...
Sure. One on 5th. I'll be there. In an hour?
In an hour. I'll see you there.
I'll see you there.
Ciao. All right, then we get the...
Ladies first.
Yeah, because I'm driving, so...
There's no need to be like that. I mean, I know we're a bit on edge.
I don't like to mince words, all right?
Trying to be polite, you know.
So, Mena, can you just make me? Actually, no. You know what?
Drive roll.
No, you're okay. Yeah, you just basically as long as you navigate to where your place is, you should be fine.
Right.
See, New York in the 30s isn't quite as expansive as it is now. So
No,
it
it should
probably
be.
doesn't take too long to get out into I think it's a bit more.
It's about 10 a.m. So it's 10 a.m. on a Saturday. So you should be quite all right. You head downtown, or you head further into the city, I guess.
We live a little further out.
A little bit further
we
out.
We don't have that much money, and my mother doesn't want to live right in the big city. She's getting a bit old and frail. Get her set up comfortably out there, and a place where I can have a shed and a workshop. That was what we were looking for when we settled in here.
Oh,
and so, Mena, that's where you drop off your new friend.
Yeah.
Would you mind stopping by a bit later to pick me back up?
Yeah. I'll get you so that we can head to the location.
Well, have a nice day.
Here's my... just grab like a number from the piece of paper from the glove box. This is Lucia's number. This is where I'll be. If you need anything, call me, because I don't want to make 2 trips, all right?
I understand.
Okay.
And Mena drives off. And Jørgen, would you like to describe your place for me as you walk in the front door?
Well, it's rather humble. Even back in the 1930s, New York's not the cheapest place to live, I imagine. And this is the Depression. So we have a little humble, cramped home on the outskirts of New York. The wireless is playing while Jørgen's mother dozes in a chair, a cup of hot tea forgotten next to her. She dozes. I walk up to her. Jørgen walks up to her and pulls the blanket around her neck. I'll make sure I stop in with her when she wakes up a bit later.
Gives me time to come up with that voice.
head through the house into the rather pokey back garden. And into the shed there.
So your niece and nephew, are they here, or are they back in Norway?
They're back in Norway.
Yeah.
But the things I invent for them.
Yes, absolutely. So you head into your shed. This is your workspace, your abode.
So yes, well, you think you from the outside it looks like any regular garden shed, but once you get inside, there's altogether a bit more mad and wild in there, with all sorts of little arcane devices and coils and alembics and things like that. Not so much in the sort of alembics and chemical thing, just the odd thing to mix battery acid, that sort of thing. But the real focal point in the room is against the back wall, a jar about a foot high that swirls with a smoky purplish green substance. Sort of like a gaseous substance that always shifts. That is connected by some funneled pipes to a rack of smaller jars, about the size of a modern. What are those square batteries called? The 9-volt batteries.
9-volt batteries, yeah.
9-volt batteries that can be kind of have a bit of the smoky substance channeled into them, and these are little power sources. And so he flicks a few switches, some of those big knife switches. Ka-chunk! Things whir up and start spinning regulators. Things start to spark. This is all just a bit of a hobby project for him. Just gone a bit further over nights and nights.
And what is kind of how does Jørgen's kind of his, how does he change internally? This is his space. This is kind of his environment. Like, what is his?
There's definitely a relaxation that comes over him as he gets into his space. A bit of a this is what I know. This is where
what he can control. This is his area,
right? And all of his kind of projects come back into his head, and there's a gleam, a spark hit his eye, and he has to hold himself back slightly from getting too engrossed in what he was working on before he was called up by Garrison on this particular tip-off about the cult. Instead, he has to focus on getting what will be most useful in the field. Mm-hmm. So after a moment of breathing in that crackling electricity smell, he focuses himself up and gets to work. Opens a nice big canvas bag and begins to throw things in, set of wrenches, starts getting those batteries charging from the main battery, looking at some of his little devices that's already made and trying to decide which ones might be the best to bring with him.
And what does he, as he scans his eye over the main kind of working table, what kind of catches his eye? What does he feel is most?
He thinks that this little remotely controlled automaton might be one of the best things to take with. It doesn't have a massive range, something he's working on, but this little device that can do a few basic articulations, pick things up, might be just the go.
Sorry, Phil. You just said automaton, didn't you?
Sort of. It's not
remotely controlled automaton.
Okay, I've made a boo-boo.
That's no. It's okay.
It's not an automaton.
Okay.
It's a remote-controlled. It's sort of like a bomb squad robot.
Right. Okay.
Scaled down.
Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Like a little K9 from
yes.
Doctor Who.
Yes, exactly so. Yes, but
K9's
doesn't
not remotely controlled.
I mean, he's size-wise.
Controlled by dreams.
size-wise.
Yes.
It's controlled by dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
So remember that his inventions are powered by his desire to see the laughter and smiles on children's faces. And so he thought, a little remotely controlled device like this would be really fun for the kids to play with.
Beautiful.
Turns out it's also good for spycraft. So he's definitely taken that with
You
him.
pick up the little robot in question, and this was a robot that's actually brought over from Norway. It was quite well loved by your niece and nephew. Why it might be good for spy work, it was just good for their imagination and play work, and you forget that they were actually quite rough with it. And it does need a bit of work, and it does need a bit of, and that's where you work well. It looks
Tinkering.
like the arms and the limbs are a bit loose. There's been a lot of banging around, so might just need a bit of work, and you need to spend a bit of time to get into tip-top shape. So if you can make me a mechanical repair roll.
Top tip shape.
Top tip shape.
For our Scandi friends.
A standard success.
Standard success, yep. And just roll me 1d8.
5.
Yeah, so it's in quite a bit of disrepair. You know that it's going to take about 5 hours work to get it completely, so you can spend a bit of time now.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can spend time once later, but you know that it's going to need some work.
A bit more preparation.
So you're going to need to bring some tools to kind of get this thing into what you deem to be a working order, because you need to test it out afterwards and then make more further tweaks if you want it to use.
Would you
not in disrepair completely?
For the sake of the audience, would you like me to describe a little bit where these power devices come from, or do you want to hold that for a bit later?
That's completely up to you, to be perfectly honest. I'm happy for you to divulge as much or as little as you want. How are you feeling? How guarded would you like to keep this?
I think maybe the hint that it's kind of strangely unnatural to look at and provides this power source that people are after. It might be enough for now.
Yeah.
People can speculate on its source, and perhaps you'll find out a bit more about it later.
And while it's not volatile in the sense that you can't handle it, there is a sense of care and a sense of kind of like reverence that you have with this.
I wouldn't want to break any of these batteries, for sure.
It's not something that would want to be released, so while it can be handled, there's reverence behind it.
Uranium.
Or demon blood. One of those two.
So you pack the nice little robot.
Who's to say one's not the other?
Nice little robot in the case that you've got there with you.
Yep.
And as you start trying, is there anything else you'd like to?
Well, just sort of any tools he has. I like to think maybe
spanners, wrenches.
Yeah, that maybe he has started work on powering a tool with one of these batteries. So he's got something akin to like a modern power drill.
Yeah,
it's powered by one of these little batteries.
Yeah, and you might take a little book with you that's got a few of your scribblings and how things work and things that are components, kind of like your.
He's anticipating he might need to try and come up with stuff on the fly, depending on what challenges they face.
Yes.
So the robot is a nice kind of all-purpose thing, and otherwise he's going to bring as many power sources as he can get charged up, and as many tools as he thinks that he can maybe make stuff on the fly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's about an hour's work for you just to kind of go through the workshop, get an idea of what you need. Maybe you spend a bit of time working on the toy as well. So it really comes down to whether you would look to spend the entire day working on the robot, or whether you want to come.
Look, he hasn't got anything else to do. He might be away from his workshop for a while, so he's going to put things in order, maybe put a few tarps over things, make sure everything's locked down and everything's in good working order before he's picked up by Mena later.
And are you looking to speak with Jørgen
At some point, he's going to have a nice talk with his mum and explain that he's going to be away for a while, but that, he's going to get her stocked up with plenty of food and get one of the neighbours to look in on her and make sure that she's going to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I don't need to do Mrs. Halverson. It would have been a very good scene.
Epilogue.
Scene deleted.
Cut to Mena, who is driven off. And so you're heading straight to Lucia's.
Yep.
On
So,
7th.
yeah, little family-owned restaurant. It's nothing flash. It's not. It's kind of like a traditional Italian restaurant in the sense that it should look like your nonna's kitchen, like the pretty stereotypical. You've got your red and white checked tablecloths, you've got dripping candles on the table. You don't really have a menu of sorts, because if you're not coming in there and knowing the chef, then who are you? Like, it's very much, you come in, you might get a waiter coming and saying, oh, here's what you want, like, or tell me what you want, we'll make it, or this is the special of the day, here you go. It's that kind of place. It's meant to be very family centered. And so it's a bit rustic, it's a bit smallish, it's very cozy. But there's also a back room where quite often the Saginarios will use Lucia's as a running point. So you have meetings there, there's stuff in the back that with all the food produce, and not quite a warehouse, but a working back area where you've got all the stuff, all the produce and things being stored in there. That's where you're also getting other imported goods that is then taken out of Lucia's and moved elsewhere, so to say.
and what was the name of your contact again?
Virginia.
So Virginia, as you kind of make your way towards the front door, you park the car, come out, and as you pass through, Virginia, she is already seated. She's in one of the kind of corner tables off to the side. She's got her feet propped up against the chair next to her. Do you want to describe Virginia for us?
Yeah. She's not what you would expect for someone kind of running in the... Well, she looks like quite a respectable young Italian woman. Virginia Knowles. So she married not an American, but is no longer... She's a widow under interesting circumstances. And she's got a very kind of fashionable, short... Not pixie, but the short, fashionable haircut for women at the time, which is, it's pin curled, it frames her face nicely, very dark black. She's got wonderful olive skin, very large brown eyes, and long eyelashes. She looks kind of like a movie star, and she dresses very nicely as well. She's in a pleated skirt, very high quality stockings, heels, and a very fancy kind of ruffled blouse.
She's kind of sitting with her feet propped up onto the chair next to her, her fingers loosely tapping the table in front of her, not so much out of impatience, more so just from boredom. She's a woman that enjoys her job, likes to be active, likes to be on the go doing things. So, waiting is kind of, even if it's being idle, is not one of her favorite things in the world. And so she clocks you as she comes in, and a bit of relief comes on her face as, get down to business. She's happy. She, kind of puts her feet down, plants them, and just kicks out the table and invites you to sit down with her.
Yeah, Mena sits down, very kind of like, not with a thud, but it's kind of like direct action. Let's get down, let's talk business. Virginia, I got a few things that I need from you. As you know, I am heading out. I won't be contactable for possibly a week or so.
You on vacation, are you?
Well, that's for me to know, Virginia. All you need to know is you keep doing your job. Any other issues about the racket or imports, you go to Lucky, all right?
Okay. No need to get snippy. What do you need?
So, I'm gonna need some ammo for... hang on. Here are my notes.
You needed the 0306, is that...
Yeah,
was asking
0.3
for?
and 0.6 ammo. I'm gonna need standard ammo for my my Beretta. Did I get what handgun?
Couple of Thompson drums, maybe?
What's a Thompson drum?
So the Tommy gun, it has like a circular magazine. It's like a drum goes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thompson drum. I'm also going to need some tinned food, some rations, as it were, and maybe an extra soup. I like to be fancy.
Ooh, and she's got a pencil out, and she's furiously scribbling down and lets out a... Says, it's a tall order you're asking for. When did you say you needed all this by?
I needed down by the hangar tonight at 5 p.m.
Wow. All right. You don't ask so much, do you?
Well, you don't get to where you be, Virginia, without, proving that you can do what I'm asking of you.
Okay. I didn't say it was impossible. Just say, yeah. Look, I'll see what I can do. What time you looking at?
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Don't be late.
5 p.m. I'll tell you what. I'll make some calls. I'll see some people. No promises, because this is more than a standard order. It's some heavy duty stuff you're asking for. But I'll see what I can do.
Did you eat?
I can always eat.
Hey, Tony. Tony, you in the kitchen? Get out of here, you bum.
So this a very, very skinny rake of a man, kind of salt and pepper hair, just pops his head out. Yes?
Hey, Tony, come stai? How's your nonna?
Oh, you're doing well. You're doing well. Nonna says hello to you. How you doing, Mena?
Tony, you crack me up with your funny voices.
I give you a new one every week. How about that?
Sounds like he's from Transylvania. Wonderful. Do we have to go to Ambrosia Island? Like, can we stay in New York? This is
Weekend
great.
at Tony's. How many
Tony.
plates? 1, 2.
What are gonna do for you this month? What are you looking for?
The princess is in another cast.
Tony, you too much. Tony.
I think I'm just enough. Just enough for you, Mena. And anything for you, Mena.
Give me a plate of give me a plate of bruschetta, and I also want give me in Virginia each cannelloni, yeah?
Cannelloni and the bruschetta, and how about that date for the you and me?
Don't push your luck, Tony.
Okay, I'll ask it again next week. I wouldn't keep asking if you didn't keep it coming back.
Come back for the food, Tony, and also I own this place.
And he just smiles, and this slowly peeps his head behind, and he actually is quite a jolly fellow.
Suddenly,
Fuck that Tony, I don't know. If he didn't make the food he does, we wouldn't keep him here, I'll tell you what.
I don't know why you indulge him, He's a bit of a creepo, if you ask me. Did you see the way he was flirting with you?
Well, people like Tony, they like to... they're driven to women who could crush them under their heel.
Is that what he likes?
You want to have a go, Virginia? You got quite a history yourself. Maybe you two are fit for each other.
And have a bit of a good small talk for 15, 20 minutes. And Tony's not usually the one that brings out the food, but for Mena, he will bring out. He'll service you himself, and he's humming a little tune under his breath as he comes out. Is bruschetta for you?
Thank you.
Cannelloni for you? Cannelloni for you.
candlelight.
Cannelloni by candlelight.
By candlelight.
Yeah, lovely.
And he also slips down a piece of paper and maybe a number for me. No, I'll try again next week. And humming that tune, he heads back with a bit of a pop in his step.
You gotta admire his panache.
It's Moxie.
I like your
Fucking
Moxie,
Moxie.
kid.
And as he heads back to the kitchen, says, "Please don't fire me, okay?"
Tony's a complicated character. The most three-dimensional NPC we've met.
I smell another fan favorite.
Roll to Cast Ambrosia Island is a Baby Beard media production. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all our podcasts are on Spreaker, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcatchers. You can support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/babybeard. Pulp Cthulhu and all associated properties are trademark of Chaosium Inc. Used with permission.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Ahoy there, ye landlubbers! Avast! My name is Captain Logan, and I'll be your guide out on the Sea of Thieves. If you love the idea of stealing treasure, cutting down cursed skeletons, fighting off krakens, and raiding forts filled to the brim with shinies, then Sea of Thieves is the game for you. Join me each week as I dive into the news and bring back the nuggets of information that any sailor worth their weight in salt would desire. You don't have to be a pirate legend to gain access to my podcast. Just search for Keelhauled, a Sea of Thieves podcast in your podcast app of choice, or head over to robotsradio.net or captainlogan.podbeam.com and get ready to set sail for adventure. Arrgh.